mu bulamu bwa bulijjo ne bituweka nga buli omu twebuuza twewuunya yekyo ki n'oluvannyuma lw'ekitangaala tufuna okwolesebwa tufuna okumanyisibwa twegatteko ku pulogulaamu yaffe ekitangaala.
Life Mission TV, omwoyo gw'obulamu.
Kuva ku Mande paka Lwakutaano essaawa 1 paka 2:00 nange omuweerezaawo towanneta lindirira.
Been here several times, more than 5 times in this 5-year tenure of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the latest one is the April 9th visit, where he came for a very short engagement with the President of Uganda, and they discussed not limited to natural but business, and that is why he returns here just a few weeks ago, and Dr. Sheikh Hassan Mohamud makes a here in Uganda, now on other official dedication to represent the people of Somalia on this historical moment in the history of Uganda. In the queue, we are told will be the arrival of the President of the People's Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency Samia Hassan Suluhu. We'll keep you updated as UBC will station here until the wee hours of the day. And of course, some arrivals, we are told, they will be happening late in the night and early morning of Tuesday. No one wants to miss this momentous occasion of being or attending the historical moment of the inauguration of His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, which is happening on the Tuesday of 12th May 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. I will mute the sound from here and hand over the microphone to the broadcast house in Kampala, but all our eyes and ears will remain here at Entebbe International VVIP Airport as we receive dignitaries who are mainly presidents. We are told they are going to be 10 presidents coming for this inauguration, and already we have received 2 presidents are in the country. From here, His Excellency Dr. Sheikh Hassan Mohamud will be disembarking up to, I think, Kololo or Munyonyo or Serena. It will be as per the arrangements of his security and advance team. But of course, the presidents will make their way through this terminal. And back to the broadcast house as we keep here at Entebbe International Airport, receiving the dignitaries who are coming for the inauguration of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I am Robert Onyango.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Did you know that our #1 value as a nation is to respect and protect the environment? With the current population increase of Uganda and industrialization, this has increased pressure on the natural resources, resulting in our EcoPlus program, where we bring you an in-depth analysis of issues that are disastrous to our environment. Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. only on your loved station, the National Broadcaster.
I'd like to thank all our clients.
Construct scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day,
I'm the Executive Director of the Uganda Media Center, and thank you very much to each and every one of you for showing up today. And we thought that it's important, given the nature of tomorrow's event, to have a final briefing so that, first of all, the media is aligned, but also to make sure that the country is duly informed about what is happening and what we expect to happen tomorrow. I'd like to introduce you to colleagues who have joined me here today. I'll start with Margaret Kafero from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She's in charge of public engagements. And you also know Mr. Rusoke from Uganda Police. He's a spokesman there. And we have Obed Katurebe from the Media Center, who has also been sitting on the National Organizing Committee. He'll be briefing you on what we expect journalists to do tomorrow, or what sort of the manner in which we expect you to conduct yourselves. And then we also have Major Mara from SFC, who will be briefing us on what is happening at the event. Very importantly, I want you to know that your work is very highly appreciated. You know, we want you to know that we shall offer you whatever cooperation you need to make sure that the country is informed, because what happens tomorrow is very, very important. It is a national event, it is a regional event, it's an international event. The whole world will be watching us tomorrow. And we expect that as a country to be putting our best foot forward. So your cooperation is very highly appreciated. And to Ugandans across the country, the real public holiday is tomorrow. If you dodged work today, togamba anti government yatugambye. The real public holiday is tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves in this peaceful country wherever you are. Enjoy it on television. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy it with your friends, so that we continue to celebrate another very important milestone in the democracy of this country. So thank you very much. And at this juncture, I would like to invite Major Omara to come and brief us on what will be happening here tomorrow.
You can't see me? Okay, good morning to you all. As I've been introduced, Major Dennis Omara, the Public Information Officer, Special Forces Command. Much has been said during the week, and much of it will be said after the week. But 7 a.m., I beg your pardon, we should be checking in. We shall, 7 a.m., I beg your pardon, we should be checking in. We shall only check in up to around 8:30. Once we leave that point, all our concentration will be here. So it will not be proper for you to be calling members of the organizing committee that come and rescue me, I'm at the gate. So let's be there by 7 a.m. And all is set. The people who are going to check our gadgets will be there by 6:30. And if you will be late, that means you will be cut out until when all the programs are done and the troops are moved out of the square. That is when they are going to open up. imagine you will have missed a lot. So please come early. And the second issue is the issue of the dress code. Often, sometimes some of our colleagues don't dress so well for this function that we have here. I would request, this is an international function. I know most of us dress for specific purposes, but for this one, we would expect you to be on a very, very decent casual. If you have your coat put on, if you don't have, put on a decent casual and have your jacket on top. The advantage is that, first of all, you are giving out the image of your organization or media house. And secondly, it would be very easy for you to access certain points if you have your press jackets. And if you don't have, please, you still have a day today and acquire one. Then my last is on the issue of accreditation. But before I handle the issue of accreditation, we are going, after this briefing, we shall move around and see areas where we shall operate in and areas where we shall not go beyond. So meaning there are areas which are severely restricted here, if I can use that term. So we would like you to note, we shall have a media center here for the production team, and we expect you to utilize that media center effectively. We are going to provide what we can manage to provide, but at least it will be comfortable for you to work from there. Then on the issue of accreditation, the media center has been receiving names for the last 1 month and a half, and I believe you have been captured in this list that we have. I have 2 lists, the foreign journalists and the local journalists. So if you know you applied for to get accredited, I would like to thank you. And if you didn't go through the process, I know it is very late, we cannot do it now. So to avoid embarrassment, I beg that you don't come. I want to repeat, to avoid embarrassment here, to the public and to yourself, I beg that you don't, because we need to follow procedures. Media Center has been open for the last 1 month and a half. If you didn't do, so many good changes have happened at Media Center. I would like you to use Media Center very, very effectively, starting from, this should be an example, going forward in the forthcoming functions. Contact them for accreditation. They are very open. We have a contact person, and we shall move on well. Thank you very much. I'll answer anything that will come after this. Asante.
Introduced me, I have been chaired the publicity subcommittee at NOC. So I don't know what Fandomara has said and my senior colleague Alan. Tomorrow will be quite a unique day, not the usual Heroes Day, Labor Day, the way we do things. This will be very, very unique. Like Fandomara said, make no mistake, nobody will be allowed on the other tent. That's the presidential tent. That's when there's a no-go area. You will not be allowed to cross to interview anybody. Forget about it. This is be a VVIP tent. Still, you will not be allowed to go storm in, do interview like we do our things on a daily. But in the event you feel there is something you want to do, Major Mara will be around. Sorry. Major Mara will be around. You walk to Major Mara, tap him, and say, I would want to do this, and see if you can be allowed. But you'll not be allowed to go to the other tent to do some interviews. Then, of course, when the parade is on, there are people who tend to run into the parade and then lie on the ground to take those beautiful pictures. This time around, the members will not be allowed. Otherwise, we'll have issues with security. That's why we've called you so that we don't have confrontation with security. There is no lying. Take your good position, take pictures, not necessarily running to the, let me call it a pitch, to take those other pictures when you are lying on the ground. So maybe finally, colleagues, like you know, we treat you in a special way, and we treasure you. Your lunch will be served here. There will be a VIP lunch in the other tent. You'll be guided to go there and have lunch, a sumptuous lunch to your fill. With those few words, members, you're most welcome, and we look forward to having a good function tomorrow. I thank you so much.
Salutations, members of the Fourth Estate and my colleagues just behind me. Greetings from Uganda Police Force. You recall that on Friday I gave a briefing, but particularly rotating around one, the traffic flow, and the general security posture. Today, people should not get worried when they see a certain heightened level of security posture. It is all in good faith. It is intended to simply make sure that we keep the country calm, and recall that we have a number of guests who have already started coming in. Now, I also gave a brief on traffic. Just to make a generic statement or a recap, one, the routes outside Entebbe Airport remain free, because let people not have an imagination that we have closed routes. No, they're not closed, but they are being managed. As I said, there may arise some intermittent disruptions. There's some music playing here. There will be some intermittent traffic interruptions, but specifically to allow certain traffic flows, especially for our VVIPs. Entebbe Airport has the following feed-ins: the old Entebbe Road, then the express, then there is also the Spa moving towards Munyonyo. Those will be having those intermittent stops, but which shall not affect traffic severely. What I also said and would like to re-echo, there are specific roads that are around the venue. The first is the road just behind there, just behind this ceremonial ground. That is the Upper Kololo Terrace. Now that one, there will be very, very strict measure or restriction. In our language, we call it a cut-off. Wampeo Avenue. Of course, the guests and all those people coming into the venue will use Wampeo, they will use Elgon Terrace. We shall be checking. Those who come in driving, you need to have a sticker. Those stickers have color codings. I may not go into the details. And those color codings correspond with parking. That when you are dropped, your driver takes the vehicle and parks it in accordance with what the color coding dictates. So those are very, very crucial. Now, conduct, general conduct. The conduct of motorists on roads is very important. So we call upon motorists to behave, because we shall be having a very, very visible traffic. Those are the specific issues, unless if any other issue arises. Thank you.
So the members, but this is very critical. You need to pass over this information to our people. As you are aware, we shall be feeding everybody who will come to this place. Our masses who will come walking in, we have 3 feeding centers. One feeding center is here down at Housing Finance Bank. They first go in, eat, then walk into the grounds. The second feeding center is at UMI grounds, UMI ground, parking grounds. People can feed from there, then walk up to the venue. The third feeding center for the general masses, not you, you are VIPs, will be Korora High School. Then Korora High School, people will eat. After eating, they'll be dropped near here, and then they come. So I would plead you pass over that message to the masses. They know where to eat from, and they move here to enjoy celebrations when they are very satisfied. Thank you so much.
Si bwe kiri yonna gy'oli ojja kusobola okugobera ebigenda mu maaso ku radio ne ku TV. N'olwekyo tekikwetaagisa kugezaako kujja wano. Buli munnayuganda tasobola kujja wano ekolera okubeera naffe. N'ojja kusobola okugobera ebigenda mu maaso ku TV ne ku radio yonna gy'oli. N'olwekyo tubakubiriza musigale awaka mukuume eddembe, mubeere n'abaana bammwe ne bakyala bammwe. Oba bonna mubakuŋŋaana ne babeera wamu mwe mumanyi. Naye tukuumire eddala eddembe kubanga enkya lunaku lukulu nnyo. Kuna Waswahili hapa ama hatuna Waswahili wote hapa? Wapo? Si mnaelewa Kiingereza? Kiswahili? Hai. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kuwakumbusha Waganda kila popote walipo, eti kesho ni siku ya likizo, na kwa hivyo popote ulipo, kwa sababu kila mtu aweze kuja hapa Kololo, tunaomba mbaki nyumbani. Kila kitu kitakuwa moja kwa moja kwa radio na TV zetu, na kwa hivyo tungependa sana mbaki nyumbani kwa amani na jamii zenu, tukisherekea zote pamoja hii siku kubwa sana. Na kwa hivyo popote ulipo, tunawatakia kila laheri na tunaomba tuwe na amani. Sitatosha hiyo? Now, also just to remind journalists as well that that is your gate, Wampeo Avenue. Gate 2 is where you shall all come in from. If you try to come in from this side, you'll have to walk all the way back here because that gate, the one through the Protea gate, is restricted. So make sure you walk all the way to that side. Mr. Sserwadda.
So we should have at least like 2-3 questions and then we'll go into
those who have cars, you know, on such occasions, you are safer, that's my view, to use maybe one van that can access the parking centers which will be at City High, UMI, and UMI grounds. So if you have a car, you leave it there, you'll be shuttled to this place. There will be shuttling vans from the City High parking or even UMI. So you have to leave your car there. For those who want to know the number of heads of state, we are sorry we are not. Yeah, but parking will be down, not here.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Margaret Kafero. I'm head of public diplomacy. Regarding how many foreign dignitaries, we're expecting about 50 foreign dignitaries, of whom between 10 to 15 are heads of state. The number keeps changing. Most arrivals will be today. Abagenyi abakulu betusuubira bali nga 50. Ba presidents banajja tusuubira wakati wa bantu 10 ne 15. Abasinga batuuka leero. Sina confirmation yet.
I think we should conclude.
Nayogedde ekisooka nayogedde ku traffic neŋŋamba nti abantu kye balina okumanya is that amakubo n'agaviira ddala ku airport particularly tebafuna kweraliikirira nti airport nzigale nedda. Ekigenda okubaawo wabaawo kye tuyita traffic cut-offs oba nti emmotoka tufuna akaseera ne tuziyimiriza ng'akadde ako kakoze eki kaze ate tekatera kumala budde bungi. So ebyo mujja kuba mubiraba ku bypass zaffe northern, mujja kuba mubiraba ku oluguudo olugenda e Munyonyo olwa bypass, the Entebbe highway, era mu bifo nga Kitubulu, bifo nga Mpala, bwe mulaba those cut-offs tezigenda kuba za maanyi nnyo, zijja kuba za kaseera. Naye enguudo ze twogerako zo ezijja okubaako traffic interruption ey'amaanyiko, lwe luguudo oluyingira mu airstrip wano olwa Elgon Terrace, waliwo oluguudo emabega wali ku Housing Finance Bank, era enguudo eziriraanye ekisaawe, oluguudo oluyingiza abantu mu gate 2 ne mu gate 1. Of course gate 1 abantu ba bulijjo tebajja gikozesa, bajja kukozesa gate 2, eyo ye Wampewo Avenue, n'oluguudo oluli waggulu emanju wano emabega waffe olwa that is Upper Kololo Terrace. So mujja kusanga nga tukozeewo some blockades, naye kyemulina okumanya nga bwe baba guidinze, gate y'abantu ba bulijjo eri wali, eno gate gye tuyita eno eyingira okuva ku Protea, eyo ye y'abakungu abayina ne invitation cards. Era ne invitation cards ziyina details wawe bagenda okuparkinga, ziyina details nekyala bafunye briefings gye bafunidde cards ezo engeri gye bajja okwaccessingamu ekifo kino. Ekintu ekirala just kye tukubiriza nga poliisi, mukozese enguudo bulungi kubanga tulina abagenyi, ate nekyamulina okumanya nti tudeployinze traffic police n'abasirikale abalala ab'enjawulo. Tetwagala ate tuwulire nti kahulidde wakamalidde mu kaduukulu, kubanga wadde onywedde n'otataganya ebyentambula. Muvuge bulungi, mutambule bulungi. Ebirala byonna tujja kuba tubiddamu. Ennamba zaffe eza poliisi twazibawa ku mikutu gyaffe kweziri, so mba musobola otufuna bwe mutwagalira. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Thank you very much to our security forces, to the officers and men, led by, of course, the Commander-in-Chief himself, President Museveni, and also the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for making sure that we are at peace at this moment, and the security measures that have been put in place are adequate to make sure that Ugandans enjoy this very important occasion. So, thank you very much, and at that point, yes, sir.
Which specific show? Are you talking about paratrooping? Sorry? Yes. First of all, there is going to be what we call a drone light show, which is going to be happening at exactly behind Skies Hotel. That is where the site of the display is. But from the mapping that was done yesterday, there are specific points that you can actually stand on top of the roof and pick good pictures. I don't have the specific points, but they are like 4. I can give you this information just right after here, after consulting our technical persons. We have points. Some are at Kololo here. You will be able to view very, very nicely from those points. I will give you the points just after this. The points where they are, first of all, the site is a very small area where you may not even, yesterday I was there, we can't even have camera persons there. It is advisable that we do it from a little distance like Kololo and other points. I'm going to give you the points. They are very good. Mapped, I will give you the details. I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afande. Now I hand over to Afande Omara, but we can have a drive.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. UBC, inspiring.
The High Court on the 30th of April 2026 sentenced Christopher Okello Onyum to death after finding beyond reasonable doubt that he, with malice aforethought, caused the death of 4 toddlers at the Gaba Early Childhood Center. Okello was informed of his right to appeal within 14 days after the date of judgment. This meant that Christopher Okello Onyum had up to 14th May 2026 to file an appeal. I have learned that Christopher Onyum has filed one. But what happens if a convict decided not to file an appeal?
The state must appeal for him.
Section 99 subsection 1 of the Trial Indictments Act states that the sentence of death shall be carried out by hanging.
We are always ready, more than ready.
Under section 102 subsection 2 of the same act, if an appeal is preferred and the sentence upheld by the Court of Appeal, the High Court forwards to the Minister a copy of the judgment and the record of the proceedings. The Minister then communicates to the High Court the decision of the President regarding the exercise of the prerogative of mercy. The Court subsequently records and gives effect to that decision. Under subsection 3, the President may issue a death warrant, commute the sentence, or grant a pardon under his or her hand and the public seal.
In 72 hours, when the letter comes, the OC informs the ones who are affected. They are put in a separate wing, they are cancelled and explain what they could do, what they want to do, and prepare them for the time.
Uganda Prison spokesperson, Senior Commissioner of Prisons, Frank Baine, explains that this legal process is important in ensuring justice, citing an incident where a convict was in prison on death sentence for a crime he did not commit.
Who it was alleged he killed his friend, kidnapped and killed his friend, but they never saw the body. After 17 years in prison, before hanging, then the other one resurfaced. All the courts had finished their part. It was only waiting for the prerogative of mercy. That was before the Chigura case. And the other man came up. It took another 1.5 years for court to be convinced to release him.
Okello Onyum becomes the 93rd inmate on death row, comprising 91 men and 2 women. Within the prison system, this category is identified by a distinct mode of dress.
We have different types of uniforms. The main uniform is the yellow one with the black strips. And most of these uniforms are put because of visibility. You can see somebody at a longer distance than the usual. So the yellow uniform is the mainly used uniform. But when the court started sentencing people long term, and those ones who are dangerous like escapees, then that's how we introduced the American orange uniform for quick identification, to know that there's something special about this person, because somebody could be serving 50 years and the people are asking to go and work, then you say, you join them. As soon as he reaches out, he runs away from you. So that is to alert whoever is working that these are very sensitive people in their American orange. For the condemned prisoners or those sentenced to death, those ones put on white.
Baine explains that a death sentence can be inverted depending on circumstances.
If the prerogative of committee does not do anything within that time, and 3 years expire according to the 2019 Act, then the sentence will be commuted into life sentence, equivalent to 50 years in prison. That's what awaits Okello.
If a condemned prisoner dies before execution, the body is released to relatives for burial.
But the one who has been hanged remains government property, and it is buried by OC and the team. And then the reports are given out on what has happened, so that there is no doubt for your people to wonder whether you died or you didn't die.
Now, research cited by the United Nations and the National Research Council finds no conclusive evidence that the death penalty deters crime, while Amnesty International warns that it carries the risk of irreversible miscarriage.
So, judicial error is a big issue. But coupled with that is the fact that sometimes the criminal process is not effective. It's not well financed, and sometimes it is prone to error. And with that, we do not want anyone to suffer death who has not committed a crime.
Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana is the founder of Human Rights Initiative. and tells me that death is not a punishment because several countries are abolishing this sentence.
It has been proven through research and practice that it's not an effective punishment. That is very, very important because those who commit those crimes often have reasons why they do commit them. And unless you address the root cause, you cannot actually address the challenge that it causes. The thinking from the human rights perspective is that life imprisonment in itself is not a soft option. It is an effective punishment. And to prove that, following the Supreme Court ruling in Susan Chigula, which we initiated with the support of Katena and Sempewa company advocates, we went to Luzira and addressed the prisoners on death row. And we conveyed to them that following the ruling, no one would be executed after 3 years. Apparently, what is interesting, the prisoners on death row were unanimous that they don't want life imprisonment, meaning that it is more effective and is a more meaningful punishment than death.
Okello has rights during the litigation process and also has rights while in prison. But what about the rights of the victims of crime?
In other countries, there is a proposal for what is called the Victims' Trust Fund, that the state has to compensate the victims for the loss of their loved ones because the state failed to protect. So those could be some of the rights, right to compensation for the victim.
Since 1927, when Upper Prison was established, several executions by hanging have been carried out.
I think over 1,000 people have been hanged. 1999 is when the last process was done. 29 people were hanged.
In Luzira, including Haji Sevirumbi. On the very same night that that execution took place, we had bombs going up in Indeba, which means that those who commit such crimes are not in any way interested in what happens inside the prison. So as a matter of fact, when you have a moratorium on executions, or when you put more money and invest more in preventing crime, you realize that you have a better scorecard. And as such, it has also been proven that countries that have abolished the death penalty and have invested more in ensuring better governance, the crime rate is going down.
The 92 inmates currently in death row remain at the mercy of the head of state. Whether the 93rd convict, Okello Onyum, will benefit from the president's prerogative of mercy remains to be seen.
Those are political actions. The reasoning behind that is slightly different, because essentially those who grant prerogative of mercy, they believe in reconciliation and no longer believe in an eye for an eye.
Uganda Prisons currently operates with 14,852 staff, about 38% of its approved establishment, and holds 79,834 inmates, exceeding the capacity by over 300%.
atried kutuusibwako. Prevention Life Mission TV, omwoyo gw'obulamu.